Poor boy with disabilities sings on the street to save his mom. Unaware the billionaire watching was his father. Welcome back to Virtuous Stories. I have a question for you. When you see a younger street performer singing, do you show your appreciation? Perhaps with a heartfelt clap, a kind word, or a small monetary contribution? How do you choose to support these talented youngsters? This is a story of a boy who sings on the streets with disabilities to raise money for his sick mother. The sweet sound of a young voice filled the busy street like honey flowing through the air. People walking by stopped for just a moment, their hearts touched by the beautiful song coming from a small boy sitting on the cold sidewalk. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Tommy sang with his eyes closed, his voice pure and strong. His small hands held an old guitar that was too big for him. A cardboard sign next to him read, "Help my mom get better. God bless you." Tommy was 12 years old, but he looked smaller than other boys his age. His left leg was shorter than his right leg, and he walked with a limp. But when he sang, nobody noticed his disability. They only heard an angel's voice coming from a brave little heart. It was Tuesday morning, and the street was full of people rushing to work. Cars honked their horns. Buses stopped and started, but Tommy's voice cut through all the noise like a warm hug on a cold day. "That boy has a gift from God," said Mrs. Rose, an old lady who stopped to listen. She put a $5 bill in Tommy's small hat on the ground. "Keep singing, sweet child," she whispered. Tommy opened his eyes and smiled. "Thank you, ma'am. God bless you." His smile was so bright it made Mrs. Rose's day better. A businessman in an expensive suit walked by quickly, talking loudly on his phone. Yes, I'll be there in 10 minutes. The meeting cannot wait." But when he heard Tommy's voice, something made him slow down. He stopped and turned around. The businessman had dark hair with some gray lines. His name was Mr. James. He was 45 years old and very rich. He owned many companies and lived in a big house. But right now, looking at this small boy, he felt something strange in his heart. Tommy continued singing. "I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see." Mr. James felt tears trying to come to his eyes. Why did this boy's voice make him feel so sad and happy at the same time? He couldn't understand it. "Excuse me, sir," Tommy said softly when he finished his song. "Would you like to hear another song? I know many songs about hope and love." Mr. James looked into Tommy's eyes. They were brown and kind, just like. He shook his head. "You sing very well, young man," he said. His voice was gentle now, not the sharp business voice he used on the phone. "Thank you, sir. I sing to help my mom. She's very sick and the medicine costs a lot of money." Tommy's voice was honest and simple. "Every day I come here and sing. People are very kind to me." Mr. James reached into his wallet and pulled out a $20 bill. He put it in Tommy's hat. "What's wrong with your mother?" he asked. Tommy's face became sad. "The doctor says she has a sickness in her lungs. She coughs all the time and can't breathe well. The medicine helps her, but it costs $50 every week. Sometimes I don't make enough money and she gets worse." Mr. James felt his heart breaking. This small boy was trying to save his mother's life with his beautiful voice. "Where do you live?" he asked. "In the apartments on Maple Street. It's not far from here. Mom stays in bed most of the time now. I take care of her and sing to make her feel better." Tommy picked up his guitar again. "Would you like to hear her favorite song? It's called You Are My Sunshine." Before Mr. James could answer, Tommy started singing again. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray." Mr. James had to walk away quickly. The song was too much for him. His eyes were full of tears, and he didn't want the boy to see him cry. But as he walked away, he kept hearing Tommy's voice in his head. That evening, Tommy walked slowly home. His left leg hurt more when he was tired. He counted the money in his hat. $28, he said to himself. "That's good. Mom will be so happy." Tommy climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor of the old apartment building. Each step was hard for him, but he never complained. He opened the door to their small apartment. "Mom, I'm home," he called out. "Tommy, my sweet boy," came a weak voice from the bedroom. "How was your day?" Tommy walked into the small bedroom where his mother, Mary, was lying in bed. She was 35 years old, but looked older because of her sickness. Her blonde hair was thin now, and her face was pale. But when she saw Tommy, her eyes lit up with love. "I made $28 today, Mom, and a very kind man gave me $20. He listened to me sing and asked about you." Tommy sat on the edge of the bed and showed her the money. Mary smiled weakly. "God is good to us, Tommy. He sends angels to help us when we need them most." "Mom, are you feeling better today?" Tommy asked. He could hear her breathing was still difficult. "I'm fine, my love. Don't worry about me. Tell me about your day. Did you sing Amazing Grace today?" "Yes, Mom. And I sang your favorite song too. You are my sunshine." A businessman stopped to listen. He had kind eyes, but he looked sad. Mary coughed a little. "Maybe he needed to hear your beautiful voice today. God uses you to bring joy to people, Tommy. You have a special gift." Tommy helped his mother sit up and gave her a glass of water. "Mom, I promise I'll keep singing until you get better. I'll earn enough money for all your medicine." "Oh, Tommy," Mary said, holding his small hand. "You're the best son in the whole world. I'm so proud of you." That night, Tommy made dinner for both of them. It was just soup and bread, but they ate it together and talked about happy things. Tommy told his mother jokes, and she laughed even though it made her cough. "Mom, tell me the story about when I was born," Tommy said as he helped her back to bed. Mary smiled. "You were the most beautiful baby in the hospital. When you were born, you didn't cry. You just looked around with your big brown eyes, like you were already thinking about how to help people." "And my leg?" Tommy asked. He asked this question sometimes, but he was never sad about it. "The doctor said you were born special. Your leg makes you different, but different is beautiful. God made you exactly the way He wanted you to be. And your voice. Oh, Tommy, your voice is God's gift to the world." Tommy kissed his mother's forehead. "I love you, Mom. Tomorrow I'll sing even better, and I'll make more money for your medicine." "I love you too, my sunshine. Now go to sleep. You need rest for tomorrow." But Tommy couldn't sleep right away. He lay in his small bed and thought about the businessman who had stopped to listen. There was something about the man's eyes that made Tommy feel strange. They looked familiar, but Tommy couldn't remember where he had seen them before. Outside, the city was quiet now, but somewhere in a big house across town, Mr. James was also lying awake, thinking about a small boy with a beautiful voice and brown eyes that looked so much like his own. Neither of them knew that tomorrow would bring them one step closer to a truth that would change their lives forever. The next morning, Mr. James sat in his big office on the top floor of a tall building. Through his large windows, he could see the whole city. He had everything a man could want: money, power, and success. But today, he felt empty inside. He couldn't stop thinking about the boy with the beautiful voice, Tommy. The name kept playing in his mind like a song he couldn't forget. "Mr. James, your meeting is ready," said his secretary, Mrs. Linda, as she knocked on his door. "Not now, Linda. Cancel all my meetings today," Mr. James said without looking up from his desk. Mrs. Linda was surprised. Mr. James never canceled meetings. "Sir, are you feeling well? Should I call a doctor?" "I'm fine. I just need to think today." Mr. James turned his chair to look out the window. "Linda, do you believe in signs from God?" Mrs. Linda had worked for Mr. James for 10 years. She had never heard him talk about God before. "Yes, sir. I believe God speaks to us in many ways." "Why do you ask?" "Nothing, just wondering." Mr. James waved his hand. "Please, I need to be alone today." When Mrs. Linda left, Mr. James opened his desk drawer. Inside was an old photograph, yellow and worn from age. It showed a young woman with blonde hair and kind eyes. She was smiling and looked very happy. "Mary," he whispered, touching the photo gently. "I'm so sorry." His mind went back to 13 years ago. He was young then, only 32 years old. He had just started his first business, but he was poor and struggling. Mary was his girlfriend, and they were very much in love. "James, I have wonderful news," Mary had said one evening. They were sitting in her small apartment, eating dinner together. "I'm going to have a baby. We're going to be a family." But instead of being happy, James felt scared. Very scared. He looked around the tiny apartment with its old furniture and broken window. "Mary, how can we have a baby? I can barely pay for food. My business is failing. I can't even take care of myself." Mary had taken his hand. "James, we'll figure it out together. Love is stronger than money. Our baby will be blessed because it will be loved." But James couldn't see it that way. All he could think about was being poor forever, watching his child grow up without nice clothes or good food. He was afraid he would be a terrible father. "I can't do this, Mary," he had said. "I'm not ready to be a father. I'm sorry." Mary's face had turned white. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I have to go. I got a job offer in another city. I have to take it. It's my only chance to make something of myself." "James, please don't leave me. We can work this out. I love you." But James was too scared and too proud. The next morning, he packed his bags and left. He didn't even say goodbye properly. He just left a note saying he was sorry and that she would be better off without him. Now, sitting in his expensive office, Mr. James felt the pain of that day all over again. He had built his business and became rich, but he had lost the most important things, Mary and his child. Over the years, he had tried to find them, but Mary had moved away from their old apartment. He hired private investigators, but they couldn't find her. It was like she had disappeared from the earth. "I wonder if she ever had the baby," he thought to himself. If she did, the child would be about 12 years old now. Suddenly, his heart stopped. 12 years old. Tommy looked about 12 years old. And those brown eyes, they looked exactly like his own eyes. Mr. James stood up quickly, knocking over his coffee cup. "It can't be," he whispered, but deep in his heart he knew the truth was staring him in the face. The next morning, Mr. James didn't go to his office. Instead, he walked to the street where Tommy sang every day. He stood far away, behind a newspaper stand, and watched. Tommy was there, sitting in the same spot with his guitar. He was singing "What a Wonderful World" in his sweet voice. People stopped to listen and put money in his hat. Mr. James studied Tommy's face carefully. The boy had his brown eyes, his nose, and even the way he tilted his head when he sang. There was no doubt about it. This was his son. "Hello, Mr. James," Tommy said when he saw him. "You came back to hear me sing again?" Mr. James felt his heart racing. His son was talking to him, but Tommy didn't know who he was. "Yes, I enjoyed your singing yesterday. You have a beautiful voice." "Thank you, sir. Would you like to hear a happy song or a sad song today?" "A happy song, please," Mr. James said, though he felt like crying. Tommy started singing "You Are My Sunshine." As he sang, Mr. James remembered Mary singing the same song when she was pregnant. She used to put her hands on her belly and sing to the baby. When Tommy finished, Mr. James asked, "Tommy, can I ask you something personal?" "Sure, sir. You're very kind to me." "What's your last name?" "Wilson, Tommy Wilson. My mom's name is Mary Wilson." Mr. James felt dizzy. Mary had taken her maiden name back. That's why his investigators couldn't find her. "Tommy, tell me about your father," Mr. James said quietly. Tommy's face became sad. "I don't have a father, sir. My mom says he went away before I was born. She says he was a good man, but he was scared and young. Mom doesn't talk about him much, but sometimes I see her looking at an old picture and crying." Mr. James felt like someone had hit him in the chest. Do you ever wonder about him?" "Sometimes I do. I wonder if he thinks about me. I wonder if he knows I exist. But Mom says I shouldn't be angry at him. She says everyone makes mistakes, and God forgives people who are truly sorry." Mr. James had to turn away. He couldn't let Tommy see his tears. "Your mother sounds like a very wise woman." "She is. She's the best mom in the world. Even though she's sick, she takes care of me and loves me. I would do anything for her." "How sick is she, Tommy?" "Very sick, sir. Yesterday, she couldn't even get out of bed. The doctor says she needs to go to the hospital, but we don't have enough money. The medicine helps, but it's not enough anymore." Mr. James made a decision. "Tommy, I want to help you and your mother, but I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" Tommy looked at him with his innocent brown eyes. "Why do you want to help us, sir? You don't even know us." Because I believe God puts people in our lives for a reason. Maybe I'm here to help you. And maybe you're here to help me too. How can I help you, sir? I'm just a poor boy with a bad leg. Mr. James knelt down so he was at Tommy's level. Tommy, you have already helped me more than you know. Your voice, your courage, your love for your mother. You've reminded me of what's really important in life. Tommy smiled. Thank you, sir. That's very nice of you to say. Now, I want you to take this. Mr. James pulled out his wallet and gave Tommy all the money he had, $300. This is for your mother's medicine and doctor visits. Tommy's eyes went wide. Sir, I can't take this much money. It's too much. Please, Tommy. It would make me very happy if you took it. And tomorrow, I want to meet your mother. Would that be okay? Tommy was so excited he started crying. Oh, sir, yes, Mom will be so happy to meet you. She always says that angels come in different forms. As Tommy packed up his guitar and got ready to go home, Mr. James watched him struggle with his bad leg. He wanted to help, but he was afraid to get too close. Not yet. Tommy, he called out. What time do you usually come here to sing? Every morning at 8 o'clock, sir. Rain or shine. I'll be here. Good. I'll see you tomorrow. And Tommy? Yes, sir? Tell your mother that. Tell her that someone who cares about you both wants to help. That night, Mr. James sat in his big empty house and made phone calls. He called the best lung doctor in the city. He called the best hospital. He made arrangements for Mary to get the best care possible. But he was still afraid. What if Mary hated him? What if she didn't want his help? What if Tommy hated him when he learned the truth? I abandoned them when they needed me most, he said to himself. I don't deserve their forgiveness. But then he remembered Tommy's words. Mom says everyone makes mistakes, and God forgives people who are truly sorry. Mr. James looked at the old photograph of Mary one more time. I am sorry, Mary. I'm so sorry. I can't change the past, but maybe I can help make the future better. He made one more phone call that night. Hello, this is James. I need to speak to a lawyer about changing my will. I want to make sure my son and his mother are taken care of, no matter what happens. Tomorrow, he would take the first step toward telling them the truth. He was still scared, but love was stronger than fear. It had to be. The next morning, Mr. James arrived at Tommy's singing spot at 7:30. He wanted to be early. He had barely slept all night, thinking about what he would say to Mary. How do you apologize for 13 years of absence? How do you ask forgiveness for abandoning the woman you loved and the child you never knew? But when 8 o'clock came, Tommy was not there. 8:15 passed, then 8:30. Mr. James felt worried. Tommy had said he came every day, rain or shine. At 9 o'clock, Mr. James saw Tommy limping down the street as fast as his bad leg would allow. The boy was crying, and his face was red with panic. Tommy! Mr. James called out, running to him. What's wrong? Sir, oh sir, I'm so glad you're here. Tommy was breathing hard and could barely speak. It's Mom. She can't breathe. She collapsed this morning. I don't know what to do. Mr. James felt his heart sink. Where is she now? At home. She's so sick, sir. She keeps coughing up blood. I called the ambulance, but they said it costs $500 just to come get her. I don't have that much money. Tommy was sobbing now. I don't want my mom to die. Without thinking, Mr. James picked up Tommy and carried him to his car. We're going to your mother right now. Don't worry, Tommy. I'll help her. But sir, I told you, we don't have money for the ambulance or the hospital. Don't worry about money. Just tell me how to get to your apartment. They drove quickly through the city streets. Tommy gave directions while wiping his tears. Turn left here, sir. It's the old building with the red door. We live on the 3rd floor. Mr. James parked the car and helped Tommy out. Together, they climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor. With each step, Mr. James felt more nervous. In just a few minutes, he would see Mary again after 13 years. Mom, I'm back. I brought the kind man to help us, Tommy called out as he opened the apartment door. Mr. James followed Tommy into the small apartment. It was clean, but very poor. The furniture was old and there were cracks in the walls. But there were pictures of Tommy everywhere. and the apartment was full of love. "Tommy, who is this man?" came a weak voice from the bedroom. "This is Mr. James, Mom. He's the businessman I told you about. He wants to help us." Mr. James walked slowly to the bedroom door. His heart was beating so fast he thought it might stop. And then he saw her. Mary was lying in bed, propped up by pillows. She was very thin and pale. Her blonde hair was still beautiful, but her face showed the pain of being sick for so long. When she saw Mr. James, her eyes went wide. "James?" she whispered. "James, is that really you?" Tommy looked confused. "Mom, do you know Mr. James?" Mary tried to sit up, but she started coughing. Blood came from her mouth. "James, what are you doing here?" Mr. James rushed to her side. "Mary, don't try to talk. You're very sick. I'm going to take you to the hospital right now." "No, I can't afford the hospital." "Tommy, get me some water." "Mary, listen to me," Mr. James said, taking her hand. "Money is not a problem. I'm taking you to the best hospital in the city. You're going to get better." Mary looked at him with tears in her eyes. "James, why are you here? After all these years, why now?" Tommy stood between them, looking back and forth. "Mom, how do you know Mr. James? I don't understand." Mr. James looked at his son. This was not how he had planned to tell the truth, but he had no choice. "Tommy, your mother and I, we knew each other a long time ago, before you were born." "Were you friends?" Tommy asked innocently. Mary started coughing again, worse than before. "James, please, get Tommy out of here. He doesn't need to see me like this." "No, Mom, I'm not leaving you," Tommy said, grabbing her hand. Mr. James made a quick decision. "Tommy, go pack some clothes for your mother. We're going to the hospital now." He pulled out his phone and dialed 911. "Hello, this is James Wilson. I need an ambulance at 245 Maple Street, apartment 3B. The patient is having difficulty breathing. This is an emergency." While Tommy packed his mother's clothes, Mr. James sat beside Mary's bed. "Mary, I'm so sorry for everything. I should have been here." "James, you left me when I needed you most. You don't get to come back now and play hero." Mary's voice was weak, but her words were strong. I know I was a coward. I was young and scared, and I made the biggest mistake of my life. But Mary, that boy, Tommy, he's my son, isn't he?" Mary closed her eyes. "Yes, James, he's your son, the son you never wanted." "That's not true. I was scared, but I always wanted him. I just didn't know how to be a father." "Well, you missed your chance. Tommy doesn't need a father now. He needs his mother to get better." The ambulance arrived, and the paramedics rushed into the apartment. They put Mary on a stretcher and carried her downstairs. Tommy held her hand the whole way. "Mom, don't leave me," Tommy whispered. "I'm not going anywhere, my sunshine, I promise." At the hospital, Mr. James spoke to the doctors privately. "I want her to have the best care possible. Money is no problem. Do whatever you need to do." "Sir, are you family?" the doctor asked. Mr. James paused. I'm the father of her son." The doctor nodded. "We'll do everything we can. She has pneumonia, and it's very serious. Her lungs are badly damaged. She needs immediate surgery." While Mary was in surgery, Mr. James and Tommy sat in the waiting room. Tommy was quiet, staring at the floor. "Tommy, are you okay?" Mr. James asked. "Mr. James, my mom seemed to know you very well. How do you really know her?" Mr. James took a deep breath. "Tommy, there's something I need to tell you. Something very important." "What is it, sir?" "Your mother and I, we were more than friends. We loved each other very much. And Tommy, I'm your father." Tommy looked up at him with wide eyes. "My father? But Mom said my father went away before I was born." "I did go away. I made a terrible mistake. I was young and scared, and I thought I couldn't take care of you and your mother, so I left. I've regretted it every day since then." Tommy was quiet for a long time. Then he asked, "Are you sorry you left us?" "More sorry than you can imagine. I've spent 13 years wishing I could take it back." "Did you know about me? Did you know I existed?" "I suspected your mother was pregnant when I left, but I was too scared to ask. I convinced myself that she would be better off without me. Tommy stood up and walked to the window. So you're rich now. You have everything you wanted. No, Tommy, I have money, but I don't have what I really want. I want my family back. I want to be the father I should have been from the beginning. But you can't just come back after 13 years and expect everything to be okay. Mr. James felt his heart breaking. I know, son. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. But I want to try. I want to take care of you and your mother. Don't call me son, Tommy said quietly. You're not my father. A father doesn't abandon his family. The words hit Mr. James like a punch to the stomach. But he knew Tommy was right. You're absolutely right. I haven't been a father to you, but I want to learn how, if you'll let me. Just then, the doctor came out of the surgery room. The surgery went well. She's stable now, but she needs to stay in the hospital for at least 2 weeks. Her lungs need time to heal. Can we see her? Tommy asked. She's sleeping now, but you can see her for a few minutes. They walked into Mary's room. She was connected to machines that helped her breathe. Tommy held her hand gently. Mom, I love you. Please get better. I need you. Mary opened her eyes slowly. Tommy, my sweet boy. I'm going to be fine. The doctors are taking good care of me. Mom, Mr. James told me the truth. He's my father. Mary looked at Mr. James with tired eyes. James, you had no right to tell him without asking me first. I'm sorry, Mary, but he deserved to know. And what now? Are you going to disappear again when things get difficult? No, Mary. I'm here to stay. I want to make up for all the lost years. I want to be the man you both deserve. Mary closed her eyes. James, I'm too tired to fight about this now. But understand this. Tommy and I have built a life without you. We don't need you to save us. But I want to help. Please, let me help. Tommy spoke up. Mom, he paid for the hospital. He saved your life. Mary looked at her son. Is that what you want, Tommy? Do you want him in our lives? Tommy looked at his mother, then at Mr. James. I don't know, Mom. I'm confused. But I know I don't want to lose you. If he can help you get better, then maybe. Maybe we should give him a chance. One chance, Mary said weakly. One chance to prove he's not the same scared boy who ran away 13 years ago. Mr. James felt hope for the first time in years. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Tommy. I won't let you down again. I promise. As the sun set outside the hospital window, a broken family took their first small step toward healing. It wouldn't be easy, but love had brought them back together. And sometimes, love is enough to make miracles happen. 2 weeks had passed since Mary's surgery. Every day, Mr. James came to the hospital to visit. He brought flowers for Mary and books for Tommy. He paid for everything: the private room, the best doctors, the expensive medicines. But he couldn't buy what he wanted most: forgiveness. Mary was getting stronger each day. The doctors said she would make a full recovery, but she needed to rest and take her medicine for many months. Tommy had not been singing on the street. Instead, he spent his days at the hospital, reading to his mother and helping the nurses. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Tommy, Mr. James said as he entered the hospital room. He carried a bag of fresh fruit and Tommy's favorite chocolate. Good morning, Mr. James, Tommy said politely. He was still confused about his feelings. This man was his father, but he felt like a stranger. Mary nodded but didn't smile. James, we need to talk. The doctors say I can go home tomorrow. That's wonderful news. I've arranged for a nurse to come to your apartment every day, and I've paid your rent for the next 6 months. James, stop, Mary said firmly. We need to talk about what happens next. You can't just throw money at us and expect everything to be perfect. Mr. James sat down in the chair beside her bed. I know money can't fix what I did, but I want to help. I want to be part of Tommy's life. And what about my life? Mary asked. Do you think you can just walk back into my life after 13 years? Tommy looked uncomfortable. Mom, maybe I should go get some juice from the cafeteria. No, Tommy, stay. This concerns you too. Mary looked at Mr. James. James, I need you to understand something. When you left me, I was 22 years old and pregnant. I was scared and alone. I cried every night for months. Mr. James felt tears in his eyes. Mary, I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you terribly. Let me finish, Mary said. I worked 2 jobs while I was pregnant. I cleaned offices at night and worked in a store during the day. When Tommy was born, I was so tired I could barely hold him. But you know what? I never once wished he hadn't been born. I'm glad you kept him. He's the most wonderful boy in the world. Yes, he is. And I raised him by myself. When the doctors told me he had a problem with his leg, I researched everything I could. I took him to physical therapy. I taught him to be proud of who he is. I did all of that alone. Tommy reached over and held his mother's hand. Mom, you're the strongest person I know. Tommy, I want you to understand something, Mary continued. Your father left because he was scared. He wasn't ready to be a grown-up. He chose his dreams over his family. Mr. James stood up. Mary, you're right. I was selfish and immature. I thought I could build a successful life and then come back someday. But I was wrong. I should have stayed and built a life with you. And now you're rich and successful. You have everything you wanted. No, I don't. I have money, but I don't have a family. I don't have love. I've been lonely for 13 years. Tommy spoke up. James, can I ask you something? Of course, Tommy, ask me anything. Did you ever think about us? Even once? Mr. James knelt down beside Tommy's chair. Tommy, I thought about you and your mother every single day. I kept your mother's picture in my desk drawer. I hired people to try to find you. I wondered if you were happy, if you were healthy, if you looked like me. You really tried to find us? Yes, but your mother had moved and changed her name. I looked for you for years. Mary's expression softened a little. I didn't know you looked for us. Mary, I know I don't deserve another chance, but I want to be honest with you about everything. After I left, I built my business, but I was never happy. I dated other women, but I never loved anyone else. I always compared them to you. That's not my problem, James. You made your choice. You're right, but I'm asking you to let me make a different choice now. I want to be Tommy's father. I want to learn how to be a good father. Tommy looked at his mother, then at James. What would that mean? Would you live with us? I don't know, Tommy. That would be up to your mother. But I want to spend time with you. I want to teach you things. I want to come to your school events. I want to be there when you need me. But you left once. How do we know you won't leave again? James took Tommy's hands in his. Tommy, I can't promise that I'll be perfect, but I can promise that I will never abandon you again. I've learned that money and success mean nothing without family. Mary watched James and Tommy talking. She could see the resemblance between them, the same brown eyes, the same way of tilting their heads when they were thinking. James, I have some things to tell you too, Mary said. I was angry at you for a long time. I used to imagine what I would say to you if I ever saw you again. I planned to tell you how much you hurt us. I deserve your anger, Mary. But over the years, I realized that holding onto anger was hurting me more than it was hurting you. I forgave you in my heart even though you weren't here to know it. James looked surprised. You forgave me? I had to, for my own peace. And for Tommy's sake, I didn't want him to grow up angry at his father. Mom, is that why you never said bad things about him? Tommy asked. Yes, my love. I told you that your father was a good man who made a mistake, because I believed that was true. James felt overwhelmed. Mary, you're amazing. Even after everything I did, you protected me in Tommy's heart. I protected Tommy. I didn't want him to hate his father before he even knew him. Tommy stood up and walked to the window. This is all very confusing. I've wondered about my father my whole life. I used to imagine what he looked like, what he did for work, why he left us. And now he's here, and he's nothing like I imagined. What did you imagine? James asked. I thought maybe he was a soldier who died in a war, or maybe he was sick and couldn't take care of us. I never imagined he just left because he was scared. Tommy, I know you're disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in myself too. Tommy turned around. But you came back. When you heard my voice on the street, you came back. Yes, I did, and I'm never leaving again. How do I know that's true? James thought for a moment. Tommy, do you remember the song you were singing when I first saw you? Amazing Grace. Yes, there's a line in that song, I once was lost, but now I'm found. That's how I feel. I was lost for 13 years, but your voice led me home. Tommy's eyes filled with tears. I'm still angry at you. I understand. You have every right to be angry. But I also want to know you. I want to know what it's like to have a father. Mary wiped her eyes. James, I'm willing to let you be part of Tommy's life, but there have to be rules. Whatever you want, Mary, I'll agree to anything. First, you don't make promises you can't keep. If you tell Tommy you'll be somewhere, you better be there. I promise. Second, you don't try to replace me as his parent. I'm his mother and I make the big decisions about his life. I understand. Third, you don't try to buy his love with expensive gifts. Tommy needs your time and attention, not your money. You're absolutely right. Tommy walked back to them. And I have a rule too. What's that, son? James asked. Don't call me son until I'm ready to call you dad. James smiled. That's fair, Tommy. Mary struggled to sit up straighter. James, there's one more thing. I need to know that you're serious about this. Being a father isn't just about the fun times. It's about being there when things are difficult. I know that now, Mary. I've learned that running away from problems doesn't make them go away. Tommy has doctor appointments for his leg. He needs physical therapy. He gets teased at school sometimes. Are you prepared for all of that? Yes, Mary. I want to be there for all of it. Over the next few months, James slowly became part of Tommy and Mary's life. He picked Tommy up from school every day. He took him to physical therapy appointments. He helped with homework. He learned to cook simple meals. Tommy started singing on the street again, but now it was different. He sang because he loved music, not because he was desperate for money. James would sit nearby and listen, his heart full of pride. James, I have something to tell you, Mary said one evening. They were sitting on the couch in her apartment while Tommy did his homework at the kitchen table. What is it? I've been thinking about us, about whether we could be a family again. James felt his heart race. And what do you think? I think I could learn to love you again. Not the same way I loved you before, but in a new way, a grown-up way. Mary, I love you. I never stopped loving you. I know. I can see it in your eyes. But James, if we're going to try this, we have to do it right. We have to take it slow. Whatever you want, Mary. Tommy looked up from his homework. Does this mean James is going to be my dad for real? Mary and James looked at each other and smiled. Would you like that, Tommy? Mary asked. Tommy thought for a moment. Yes, I think I would. But I have one condition. What's that? James asked. I want you to sing with me on the street sometimes. I want people to see that I have a father who loves me. James felt tears of joy in his eyes. I would be honored to sing with you, Tommy. Though I should warn you, I'm not a very good singer. That's okay, Tommy said with a big smile. I'll teach you. 6 months later, James moved into a bigger apartment near Mary and Tommy's place. He proposed to Mary on Tommy's birthday, and she said yes. They had a small wedding in the park where Tommy often sang. At the wedding, Tommy sang Amazing Grace for all the guests, but the most beautiful moment was when James joined in, singing off-key but with all his heart. Mary cried happy tears as she watched her son and the man she loved singing together. I once was lost, but now I'm found, they sang together. Was blind, but now I see. And it was true. James had found his family. Tommy had found his father. Mary had found love again. And they had all found that forgiveness can heal the deepest wounds and that it's never too late to start over. From that day forward, when people walked by and heard Tommy singing on the street, they saw something beautiful. A boy with a disability who had overcome every obstacle, standing beside a father who had learned that love is more important than money, and a mother who had taught them both that forgiveness is the greatest gift of all. And Tommy's voice, which had once been filled with sadness and desperation, now rang out with pure joy, touching the hearts of everyone who heard it and reminding them that miracles do happen, and that love really can conquer all. Dear viewers, we've shared a remarkable story with you tonight. A story of love, resilience, and determination that surely touches the heart. Let's hold on to the emotions and lessons this story evokes. Where are you watching us from? Share your country's flag in the comments. Now it's your turn. Share your thoughts about this story. What resonated with you the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another powerful, soul-lifting stories from us. And don't forget, at Virtuous Stories, we love you.